Fortnite Creative 2.0 is coming out, and it's kind of scary. The announcement of everything that's coming to Fortnite Creative in the upcoming year is huge, but it can also be really overwhelming. There's been kind of a mixed reaction in the community about the announcement. People are really excited, but they're also really kind of scared of what this may mean for their future. I asked the community on Twitter to see what some of their concerns were, and then I decided to bring on Maka Makes and Immature Gamer to discuss some of these concerns. So today's video is a little different. It's more of like a podcast type format, but Maka Makes an Immature Game and I are really going to go over a ton of topics here. We're going to talk about coding. We're going to talk about what this means for console and mobile players. We're going to talk about what you can do right now to prepare for this. There are a ton of things we talk about, and you guys need to watch the whole thing if you're feeling any worry or even excitement at all. All right, guys, let's just jump into it. It's kind of long. Okay, guys, so I guess first I want to just talk about what are you guys most excited about with this announcement? What are you looking forward to? We don't want to talk about concerns yet. We just want to talk about what we're excited about.
I think the thing I'm most excited about is having the freedom to build whatever you want, not having to rely on the Epic devs anymore for content.
So I guess with that then, that brings up a question then. So I guess we're talking about concerns now, is what's going to happen to, because they said that we're going to have Fortnite, the original Fortnite Creative system. So how are updates going to look like for Fortnite Creative then, if we basically have everything we need in this other tool?
I feel like the updates from Epic would probably be quality of life. Like some of the tools that they release now are probably not going to be perfect. To say, you know how we had at the very start, we didn't have resize, we didn't have copy and paste. Like we might have those at the beginning of this, but we might be asking for more tools, like weather tools or something like that might come out at a later date.
Supposedly they're saying we'll have third-party programs like particle editors, certain things like that within Unreal that we're going to be able to use, whenever this goes live already. It's going to be like unlimited possibilities what we're gonna be able to do, that sort of thing.
So that's super exciting, but then so that brings up one of the main concerns that I've been seeing online is people are worried that PC players are gonna have this huge advantage over console and mobile builders. Like people that don't have a high-end PC won't be able to get on and use these tools, and so their maps that mobile players make or that console players are just gonna get left in the dust because they're not anywhere near the quality or have the capabilities that a PC player made.
First off, there's I don't think they ever will plan on doing this, and definitely not their goal is to make mobile and console obsolete. That will definitely never be their goal. They want the whole idea of a metaverse is, or any of their games, is cross-platform. They were like revolutionary on getting a cross-platform for Fortnite. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're definitely going to keep that going. So I don't think that will happen per se, but I think you will just probably not. I do think if you're trying to be a high-level creator, I think you're going to have to move to PC though. Unfortunately.
Interesting.
But if that's going to be a year from now, is that going to be 2 years from now or longer? I don't know.
One of the things I was kind of looking at it is Fortnite Creative as it currently exists is kind of like, I don't know how to say this. This is like the introductory drug. Like you come in and you're like, this is a good way to test out, do I like making maps? Do I like making things? And then as you get better at that, you say, oh, you know what? I want to get more into some of the nitty gritty of making this better. So you get a PC, you get into the Fortnite Creative 2.0 tools, and then you're like, oh man, I really love this. Maybe I want to do this as a career. And then you get into the Unreal Engine and really actually making games on your own or getting a job at some place like Epic. So I kind of see this as Epic, this feels like Unreal Engine school, so that then now Epic can find developers easily. Yeah. They can kind of say, oh, you're an amazing map maker. Let's hire this person to work at Epic.
And I think too, something that we've didn't see is we're free developers almost. You know what I mean? They don't have to pay us.
Yep.
And now if they're giving us the tools and we all learn this and we're doing what developers do for free, you know what I'm saying? Essentially, that's also a yin and yang, or what do you call it, tit for tat, or that we're helping each other, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I guess that's kind of what, at the end of the broadcast yesterday, Tim Sweeney, who is the CEO of Epic Games, if you guys didn't know, he was talking about this idea of the metaverse, and he said, we don't really even know what the metaverse is. He's like, we're slowly developing this together, but the only way that is ever going to happen is if we have everyone building it together, right? So that's like, it's impossible for Epic with their developers to build a metaverse. It has to be like an open source thing where we can all go in and make worlds, and Fortnite just acts really as a distribution center of these different video games. Like right now, our distribution centers are Xbox or PlayStation or Steam or Epic Game Store, but really Fortnite can become a distribution center where it has this huge player base that's coming into this one central hub, and now you can go and play every map that's made under the sun that looks completely different, because we have these tools. We can build Mario or Minecraft or Undertale or Skyrim, and it's
Flappy
all
Bird.
Yeah, we can make, exactly, Flappy Bird, and it actually looks like it, and it's not just like some like chintzy system that we're using in Fortnite Creative currently, but it can be actually completely different graphics and completely different models that exist out there in other games.
Oh, for sure. And they've already actually given us that. They've given us Borderlands filter, if you guys remember too. You know what I mean? So like these are all going to be things we're going to be able to do. You know what I'm actually excited for? First person. Like, if we're gonna actually be able to make a game in first person, not using a helicopter pad.
Yeah, that's right. Without putting the helicopter pad everywhere.
Don't forget stuff like double pump as well. I mean, that's all going to be available to us too.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, you'll be able to change all the like cooldown times, like everything.
Something that I feel like will be a huge success, and somebody's probably already thought about. So I don't feel like there's a problem with inventing this idea. But if someone recreates the whole old mini battle royale island, that map will be a huge success.
Yes, agreed.
So I guess that brings up then, are they going to give us more memory, or like how's that going to work?
I don't think memory will be an issue, because they'll be optimizing everything. If they're going to give us new tools, I feel like memory is something that's going to hold a lot of maps back.
Yeah.
You know, right now you're limited to just building a tiny map, but people might want to build worlds instead.
So you think they're gonna release, like, basically give us like endless servers, kind of like they do with the Unreal Engine?
What I'd love to see is, you know how if you jump into the battle royale and you see low polyed stuff from far away. If every prop is assigned something like that, or prop meshes, but I feel like you could probably do that on your own then, right? They'll probably give you the tools to create low poly stuff on your own.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess that brings up the point, is like, is Epic going to give us basically endless servers, or is it only going to be to certain people? Like once you reach a certain quality level or something, or if you're using the extra tools, you get maps that have 1 million memory or 1 billion memory or something. Like it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out.
For this whole metaverse to be a success, that has to happen, because you can't have a ton of tiny little maps to create your entire universe.
And and you've seen them playtest 50 players. You know, we've seen that, and I don't see how. You know, we need more memory for making a bigger island. The islands we have aren't barely big enough for that. Right?
You know, I've always suspected that the Party Royale map was actually built on this new Creative 2.0, and yesterday they kind of confirmed that by jumping in on it in their new Creative 2 system.
Yeah.
So I feel like we'll see a lot more of those kind of maps being created, where you have a completely blank surface to work with. You can create your own roads, mountains, like terrain, whatever, and work from there.
And also, I loved, man, that demonstration of how they were editing it and it was like changing live in the game. Like, yeah, I can't wait. Like, I think that's gonna be fun to be like, hey, let's. I see a lot of like meme content coming out of that, where you could be like,
Travis. Honestly, I feel like that was a demonstration that now we're giving players the ability to create Travis Scott concerts and real-time things.
Yeah, events.
Exactly. Like, yeah, you could, yeah. And that brings up another thing is that I'm super excited about, is you can, make cinematics. Like, you saw, and there's a tab up there that said cinematics, where you could go in and like probably program, player this skin to walk from here to here on a certain cue, or actually like animate and like talk, or like all the stuff we've wanted, the NPCs, all the animations that you see in the events, we'll be able to do those stuff if you learn how to do it.
One thing that I would really want in this Creative 2.0, just from my point of view, is some kind of marketplace for us artistic builders. So I don't think my map are gonna, be anything near mechanical. I'd love to create, galleries that I can put up for free or even sell on a marketplace.
Interesting.
Like if I create, a stadium or something, I can break it down into different props, and then people can place those props on PlayStation, Xbox, like in Creative 1.0. That's something that I would love.
I'm wondering if there will be like an ecosystem or like a some way to buy certain things like that, or sell your builds. That'd be awesome.
Well, that's how it works on the Unreal Engine. I mean, they do have a marketplace where like sometimes Epic releases things for free. Like they'll say, hey, all the Infinity Blade assets are free now on the marketplace. I mean, that definitely already exists in Unreal Engine.
We could see something like the item shop that we have in game now, where you buy stuff for V-Bucks. So you can buy a gallery for maybe 200 V-Bucks or whatever you want to price it at.
That would be interesting.
Epic maybe takes a cut of 20% or something like that, and we take 80.
Yeah. Well, and I wonder, I guess that brings up another question, is like, I wonder how the revenue split's going to look for people that have maps now that are way more complicated. Is it going to still be just the creator code split, or is it going to be something different? Because right now, like when someone builds a video game using Unreal Engine, I think Epic gets like a 7.5% cut or something like that.
To really get all the Unreal developers in here, they're going to need a new monetization system, because support a creator is not going to be something that big game developers are going to look at as a means to sell their product.
So do you think, I guess that brings up that question. That's another concern, is that, game developers are now just going to come into Fortnite Creative and make these amazing things because they have these big teams that can come in and make probably a map in Fortnite Creative in a week that's just spectacular, versus, here's little old Mustard Plays that can barely place down. Like, he doesn't even know how to start Unreal Engine.
I don't see that as a bad thing. I worry about the competition, but I feel like anything like that's good for creative is just going to make it even bigger. I see the concerns in it, but I also see the good. Like, the concern is probably becoming irrelevant as a builder right now. Those teams could go off and hire you, or even or buy work from you, stuff like that, like from the marketplace.
Do developers go in and make games in like Roblox or Minecraft?
But I'm talking about I'm not talking about like big development companies. I'm talking more about
like
people who have, not even that, like people who are developing like stuff on Unreal Engine, like small games, like stuff like Among Us, for example. Those small dev teams, like people are free, they're going to come in here and just try it out.
I think it's always going to depend on what happens to Fortnite, really, for like big companies to decide to put their time into it, right? I mean, they want to advertise probably their company or like brand deals, stuff like that. I mean, if Fortnite's not popular, they aren't going to get eyes. That I don't think that'll happen. Which also is creative. At what point do they branch? Are you actually out of that ecosystem? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know how far this is going to go. At what point are they going to say, okay, we're done with Creative 2.0. Here's the Metaverse 1.0 or whatever.
Yeah.
Right now, like. This is going to be a stupid saying, but it's kind of has some truth to it. If you have to be willing to adapt to changes if you want to survive. So, with this change, it's really going to bring out what creators really want to stay in the game, or just can't hack these changes and complain that Creative 1.0 was so much better, because that was what they were used to. Even though Creative 2.0 is significantly better, just because something doesn't make it bad.
Well, and just like you were saying, okay, so let's say the Among Us developers come in and just like totally make a better version of the Spy Within, right? So it's better than what, KK and Dolphin Dom made,
I think
or
KK
whatever.
And Dolphin Dom could 100% just pull that off themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But they got to put in the time to learn the new tools.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the difference.
But that goes both ways. You know what I mean? The other, I think us creators, especially at first, are going to have an advantage with these. I don't know about like the new tools, but with the new creative, because we still understand, kind of our limitations per se, or what what people play or want to play. You know what I mean? We've
Yeah.
within
Yeah.
Fortnite, we kind of have learned that over time. You know,
Well, and I think a good example of that was, do you remember when they featured a bunch of like the search and destroy maps? There was one map that KK made, and there was another map that a developer made. And
Yes.
the developer map was not good. Like it was not. It didn't play well, but KK's was like perfect. And I think
Yeah.
that's a great example of that. So what do you guys think about like coding then? Like, do you think you're gonna have to learn C++ to be able to code, or are you guys even going to code in your maps? Like, I don't know.
Personally, I'm probably just going to stick to, you know, the 3D modeling software, which I hope they provide. But coding, you know, I've tried it and I'm really bad at it. It's very technical. You know, I did it in college. I hated it as well. So I feel like I'll probably outsource a lot of that.
So
But
you think you'll like work with, because you have your build team with Stride and Pamit, right? And Pamit,
Yeah.
I know Pamit likes coding.
Yeah, exactly. So like, if I ever need help with that, I can go to him. Or if you ever need some art stuff, like you can come to me. I really hope, like, some people probably aren't going to like this idea, but something like Scratch, you know, that coding learning software, where you
Mhm.
drag and drop lines of like if or and statements or whatever into a line of text and then create your own code from that. I feel like that'll be the easiest way to implement it.
Yeah, because they did
To
say,
understand, because like that's how I kind of learned how to understand
Oh.
code, was from like learning it in school with Scratch.
yeah. Well, that's, I mean, I think, because they said they're making a new language for this. Like they're making something totally new. So I think it is going to be something that's easier for people to understand. Immature, he's already a master of the current devices that we've got, and that's coding. Like, you are coding when you're using those devices. You're saying, if this happens, then that happens, and if this and that and that and that happens, then this happens. That is coding, guys. Like, it's nothing. It's just in text form versus like, here's this device. It's actually easier than using a device, probably.
exactly. And I think honestly, and I don't know. I think we're gonna get, you know, they're gonna roll it out very small. I don't think it's gonna be all at once. And they'll probably give us an in-game example. I'm hoping, like, this is how you make a box fight, and they'll have, you know, the codes exactly. They kind of showed today, this is what you would use to make that box fight. And if you do that, if you start making a box fight and then you kind of start adding things here or there, and it's going to be limited, I would think they're not going to give us too many options where it just overwhelms us. And then they're going to, just like creative, just like day one creative from creative now, you know what I mean? If I hopped in today, I'd be like so scared and run away. There's so many things to learn almost at this
Yeah.
point. And so, like, I think that's what they're going to do. But this next step, it's going to be, you know,
Here's the thing, though. You know the way when we saw them demonstrating, you know, the Kevin the Cube thing, where they pull out this massive texture mesh or
Mhm.
whatever. Like,
Yeah.
if someone jumped to the creative now and looked at all the devices, that's exactly how they would feel
Yeah,
when we looked
that's a
at
great
that.
point.
It's just
exactly.
you got to learn it, you know, and then
Yeah.
you're fine.
I think you're gonna have two options, you know. We're just gonna have to see where they go with creative. But like, I don't think newer, smaller creators, they don't want to be just like, see you later. You know what I mean? They're gonna want to keep probably featuring, hopefully, everyone. You know what I mean? Hopefully they want to keep this ecosystem. I don't see them just like, okay, we're only gonna, you know, feature whatever it's gonna look like later on. You know, the huge developers. You know what I mean? I don't see that. So I think you're still gonna have a place, you know.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
and it's not going to be so scary. And I think it's just that there's a new coding language, and I'm sure they are trying to make it as simple as possible and easy to digest. So,
Well, and once again, it comes back to that purpose. Their purpose here is to make the metaverse, and it's not going to happen if they scare everyone away, right? If the little guys like us aren't making maps and making YouTube videos and promoting their product, then it's going to fail. So they have to make it so all of us are excited about it, and including developers. They have to make it enticing for like bigger indie developers or whatever, to come in and build mini games within Fortnite, but also to keep us happy. So I think there's going to be a better rollout plan than just like, oh, here's basically Unreal Engine, you guys, good luck. Like, I think it's going to be a little bit of a slower rollout, and it's going to be a lot easier to digest slowly. And then, yeah, I think in 3 years from now, when we're all experts at it, and then someone else new coming in is gonna have to go back through all the YouTube videos and learn it slowly, just like currently it is with creative mode, like you're saying. So yeah,
or
I don't.
Unreal Engine, like when you're learning Unreal, you have
Yeah.
to go back and look at all the tutorials.
I mean, to answer your question, I will be learning the code, obviously.
Yeah.
I just that's I think if you're trying to be the best creator possible, you guys, I mean, it's you're gonna have to, or it's
Or you're gonna have to make a
beneficial.
team. You're gonna have to make a team.
Or a team, or
Yeah,
find someone on your team that knows it.
Yeah, I mean, just like Maka said, he's like, I'm not a programmer. I hate it. So I think teams are going to become a much bigger thing, where it's like you're gonna have to form your group of friends. One that's a programmer, one that's an architect, one that's just like a developer, right? That's Epic. My brother Donald is not a programmer. He's an artist, right? So he and like an idea guy, right? So he comes up with these ideas, and then his artistic teams and his programmers go and make it happen. And I think that's how it's gonna be with creative eventually. Is people are gonna be like, yeah, here's the marketing guy, right? This is the mustard plays who's not great at making things or whatever, but he's got an audience. Like, let's have him be a part of our team or something. And then we've got Maka, who is an architect, and we've got Immature, who's a coder and can make it, run properly. Like, that's how I think it's gonna, like, people that are really gonna succeed are gonna have to like make friends and be a part of the community.
What I want to make clear as well is that, if you want to do this solo, it is still possible. I mean, there's solo developers everywhere. You just got to learn the best of both worlds, and you need to learn the coding and the art stuff.
It's just going to take you a lot longer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But also some of the best games out there. I mean, Minecraft was one guy that developed that. And or Undertale was one guy that developed that. And like, those are some of the biggest games that have come out in the last 20 years. So I still think, like, just like Maga said, you can do this. You're gonna have to wear a bunch of hats if you want to do it at the highest level.
Another thing that'll be hugely, if you are planning to go solo with this, having a social media following or some way of getting your map out there is going to be your biggest advantage.
So now's the time, guys. Now's the time to start building a following.
You've been
because
saying it forever, Mustard. You've been saying that forever.
Absolutely. I mean, that was always my goal with my channel, and maybe this is going to expose me a little bit, but I wanted to be the top of the creative community when it came to content creation, so that when it blew up, I'd be the top, right? And so it's like, now's the time. It's not hard to do. Like, there's no way I could ever have been at the top of the battle royale scene. It just wasn't going to happen, and I knew that. So I moved to creative, and I'm close there. I'd say I'm top 10 at least, or whatever. And now's the time to build that audience, because there are people out there that are grinding. They're making videos every day in creative mode, playing maps, building maps, whatever, and they're slowly growing. And guess what? Those are going to be the people that are going to be huge in the next couple years as this blows up.
So now is the time, literally right now, to start a YouTube channel or whatever, before it gets too big and you're just left behind. It's going to be a million times harder to grow a YouTube channel maybe 2 years down the line.
Yep.
When everyone's already so far ahead.
Yeah, just like now, starting a battle royale YouTube channel, you're going to get overshadowed by the Cypher PKs and the Laser Beams and the Lachlan's and of the world. Like, they were the ones that blew up with battle royale, and now who's going to blow up with creative mode?
I really don't think a lot of those bigger YouTubers or whatever have really caught on what's happening with creative mode right now. And the sooner you really
Lachlan.
Lachlan, 100%.
That he's about it though. Like, he's that's why they started the Team Power, right? Is because I think he knows. He's like, there's a future here, and he's like, I need to have a team ready to build whatever I want. Exciting times for us. And I would say right now to everyone that's watching, don't worry, but also don't just sit and wait. Like, don't sit on your butt and not do anything. Like, now's the time to either start learning Unreal Engine, learning some coding like principles, or just start building in creative mode. Like, get better, like, be a part of the community, build your following, start a YouTube channel, start a Twitter, start an Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Like, now's the time to like get off your butt, stop worrying about, oh, am I gonna be able to do this, and just do it, right? Like, those are the people that are gonna make a difference, and those that quit, you know, they're gonna fade off into the night, and those that, you know, start learning, they're gonna be huge. They're gonna be the Lachlan's and the Laser Beams and the Cypher PKs and the Mr. Beasts of the future, because they put in the work. Well, thanks guys. Thanks for talking with us today. I'm sure we'll have lots of discussions in the future as more comes out.